Hey guys, welcome to Alchemy Yoga Online. Thank you for joining me for Happy Hips today. My name is Natalia. If I haven't met you before, welcome. Today's class is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be exploring and playing around with different shapes associated with Bakasana or crow pose. So it's going to be a fun class. We're going to arm balance a little bit. And if you're not comfortable with arm balancing and you don't want to go there, that's okay. I'm going to give other variations as well. So stick with me. For today's class, a blanket is nice, but not necessary. And if you have blocks, you're more than welcome to grab them and use them. If you don't worry. I'll give lots of other options as well. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter class today too. Just something fun. Get the body moving, get the hips open, get the shoulders open. And you got your yoga done for the day. So let's get to it. I'm going to find a position on your back. So just come to lay down. We'll take a moment to quickly check in with ourselves today. So extend your legs out straight. Allow your arms to fall out to your sides, palms up. Ever so slightly tucking the chin, finding a little length in the back of the neck. Arriving in Shavasana to start class. We're doing things a little bit backwards today. Take a slow, full breath in, fill your lungs. Release it out your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Let it go out your mouth. One more time. Deep breath. And then sigh it out. Allowing your body to settle in. Noticing any places you're holding tension and allowing those spaces to soften. And just for the first few moments here, noticing the flow of your breath in and the flow of your breath out. Bring your awareness to your hands. Feel the energy in the palms of your hands. Gently bring your thumb and index finger together. Just tap them. Bring your thumbs and middle fingers together, continuing that tapping motion. Thumb and ring fingers. Thumbs and pinky fingers. Allowing the brain to balance, the body to balance. And then just beginning to find your own rhythm and move amongst your fingers in whatever way you want. Allow there to be stillness in your hands once again. Noticing the vibrations in your fingertips. Notice them move into your palms, your forearms, shoulders, chest, and dispersing through your whole body. Feeling that vibrational energy in your hands moving up and throughout your whole body. You can keep your eyes closed or you can gently blink them open. And draw your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. You can rock a little bit side to side here. And then bring your hands onto your knees and just begin to circle your knees, massaging out your lower back. And then change directions. And then your left knee's going to circle forward. Your right knee comes towards you, and then open up your knees and circle them around and through. Starting to wake up the hip joints a little bit. And then, if you can remember, switching directions. So the right knee goes forward, left knee towards you, and then circling around. And then just circling your knees in the same direction. You can hold them or let them go. And then change directions. All right. From here, you're going to bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart. Take your knees wide and then pull your knees down towards you without using your hands, drawing your knees downwards. From here, extend your arms forward, or upward, I should say. Flex your hands down towards you. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Just actively drawing those fingertips back towards you. Nice active arms. So just starting here in this shape. And then you're going to begin to reach the hands up so much that the shoulders begin to round and lift a little bit off the ground. Maybe your chin tucks up. Bring your hands to the insides of your knees and keeping the shape, but actively pressing the knees into the elbows and the elbows into the knees. So this is quite active, even though we are on our backs. Breathing fully in and out. Knees squeezing, hands reaching. Breathing. Deep breath in. Exhale. Release it all down. Bring your feet down, gently rock them side to side. You can take your feet nice and wide. And then we're going to rock and roll on the spine a few times. So rocking forward and back until eventually you come up into boat pose. So your knees can stay bent. If this is too intense, you can keep your toes on the ground. Arms reaching forward. Lean back, heart lifts upwards. Now, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Take your knees a little wide. Draw them in towards your elbows. Flex your hands. We're going to take that same shape here that we just did on our backs. Pull your fingers back towards you. Actively squeeze your knees. Press forward. Tuck your chin a little bit. Breathe. One more full breath in. Release it down. Cross your feet, come forward into tabletop on all fours. If you need a little cushioning under your knees, you can bring your blanket underneath your knees. And then just take a moment to set yourself up. So spread your fingers nice and wide, knees underneath your hips, and then relax. Relax your belly, sink down between your shoulders, allow your head to hang. Take a moment to connect with the inflow and outflow of your breath. As you inhale, you're going to lift your sit bones, lift your gaze. As you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone round down, tuck your chin, but you're going to lift your knees off the mat. Inhale, soften your knees down, lift up. Exhale, rounding down, hover your knees. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rounding down and lifting the knees. So moving through cat and cow, but it's almost like a super cat and cow, where we hover the knees at the bottom of the cat pose. Now you can do this with your toes tucked under. Or if you want to change the sensation, perhaps you even keep your toes untucked and exhale. Press your feet into the ground, lift your knees. Just changes the sensation, the load in your body. When you come into the cat, actively press the floor away. Spread the shoulder blades apart. And then next time you round down into cat, you're going to hold there for a moment, knees hovering. Actively press the floor so shoulder blades are spread apart. Tuck your chin ever so slightly and breathe. Deep breath in. Exhale, release your knees. Walk your hands slightly forward from your shoulders, tuck your toes under, exhale back, downward dog. And bring whatever movement you need here in this downward dog. You can pedal out your feet, bend your knees. And then finding some stillness in your downward dog. Finding length from fingertips all the way back through to your hips. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, slide your hands halfway up your legs. Exhale, forward fold. You can keep your hands on your legs. You can dangle. You can hold elbows, wherever you want to be, but relaxing your head and neck as much as you can here. If you want to bring a little movement in, you can rock your hips side to side. Maybe nod your head yes and no a couple times, releasing any tension in your neck. And then soften your knees a little bit, ragdoll yourself down completely. Shift your weight into your heels. Really slowly begin to roll your way up. Take your time. Take a few breaths to come all the way up to standing. Inhale, roll your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, circle them down and back. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. One more time. And relax your hands down. Step your feet hip distance apart. Spread your toes nice and wide. Relax your hands by your sides. Rise up tall through your spine in Tadasana. Just begin to shift your weight into your left foot so the foot feels heavier and heavier on your mat until your right foot hovers off the ground. Now hands can stay nice and relaxed, or if you feel more stable with them on your hips, you can bring them onto your hips. Inhale your knee out in front, and then you're going to circle your knee around. And then change directions. Keep lifting out of that standing leg. And then next time your knee is out in front, you're going to pause here. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take your knee out to the side. You're going to bring your right elbow into your right inner edge of your right thigh. And actively pull the thigh into the elbow and the elbow back into the thigh. Breathe. Deep breath in. Exhale, release it down. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. And then arrive back in Tadasana. Feet hip distance apart. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Rise up tall. Begin to bear more and more weight into your right foot this time until the left foot drifts off the mat. Hands can be wherever you feel the most balanced. And then inhale your knee up in front of you. Exhale, circling around and through. And then change directions. Try to keep your balance. And then next time your knee comes out in front, pause here. Take a moment to re-ground down through your right leg. Feel that connection between your foot and the mat. Feel the stability there. Take your knee out to the side, palms together. Bring left elbow to inner thigh. Draw that leg in and then press that elbow back into the leg, rising up tall through your spine, continuing to breathe. Deep breath in, exhale, release it, shake your legs out. Feet hip distance apart, toes pointing straight forward towards the top of the mat. Inhale, bend your knees, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Shift your hips back behind you, and then just begin to play with your balance, lifting one heel and then lifting the other, moving side to side. And then maybe lifting both heels off the ground. It's all about balance today. You can rock back on your heels and then slowly rise up onto your toes. Arm balancing is about balancing, but it's also, most arm balances require a lot of hip opening. So it's an appropriate pose to teach in a Happy Hips class. Release your heels down. Bring your hands down in front of you and then heel toe your feet nice and wide. Spin your toes off the mat. Lift your hips up. Exhale, lower your hips down. Inhale, lifting up. Flowing through Malasana here. Noticing how this movement feels in your body. And then next time your hips sink, pausing in Malasana. Now, if you need support and you have a block, you can slide it underneath your pelvis. Otherwise, your hips can hang, palms pressed together, rise up tall through your spine. Breathing in this place, softening your low belly, softening your shoulders, unclenching your teeth. Exhale your right hand down, sweep your left fingers up, finding space. Exhale, left hand down, inhale, right fingers up. Exhale the hand down, crawl yourself forward, finding your way into a high plank so your wrists are underneath your shoulders, and then exhale back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward. Exhale back. This time, inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Exhale, bring it towards your right elbow. Back to a three-legged dog. Slide forward, elbow to knee. Doing that a couple more times. Reach that right leg straight up. Exhale, lower it back down. At any point you need some rest, you can just come down into a child's pose. Take a moment to breathe here. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, glide forward into plank, knee to elbow. Send that foot back. Come forward. Building a little strength, actively pressing that mat away when you glide forward. Coming forward one more time. Reach that left leg up and back. Exhale it back down. You can bring whatever movement you need. And then inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, you're going to glide forward again on this side. And this time you're going to place your right foot down. Bring your left knee down to the mat. Now this is a good place if you have blocks to use them. If you don't have blocks and you want a little bit of height under your hands, even if you get some tin cans from your pantry or a couple of thick books, you can use those. We're just going to come into a low lunge here. So back toes can be tucked or untucked, but we're going to stay nice and active. So anchor the hands down. If you can't get your palms all the way down, you can tent your fingertips, coming up onto your fingertips to create a little bit more height. You're going to round down through your shoulders. So spread your shoulder blades apart, tuck your chin in. Inhale, pick up your right foot. Exhale, down. If you don't have props, this is very challenging. So if that's the case for you, just work on lifting your heel up and down instead of lifting the whole foot. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift it, straighten the leg. Place the foot down. Lift up a little bit, find length in your spine, and then exhale, folding forward over that straight front leg. Anchor back down into the blocks. You can always bring them closer to you too, if you need, or your hands closer to you. And then you're going to inhale, pick that heel off the ground, bend the knee, place the foot down, lift the back knee, back heel in and down. Straighten both legs, lift up halfway, deep breath in, exhale, folding forward. All right. Bring your hands down to the mat and then step back into a downward dog. Exhale, lower your knees down. You're going to keep your hips over your knees just for a moment. We're going to work into the wrists a little bit here because arm balances can be really heavy or hard on the wrists. You're going to pull your fingertips off the mat, so flexing them back towards you. You can take your knees a little wider if you need, and then sit your hips back, but keep your hands in the shape. Come forward, and then pull your fingers back towards you as you send your hips back. Just doing that a couple of times. The next time you come forward, you can even play around with circling a little bit. And then the other way. And then finding your way back into a downward dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Exhale, come forward, slide forward into that plank. Bring that left foot underneath you as far as you can. Place it down, lower your back knee. So you can bring your blocks into either side of your foot here. Or even closer to you. Same with your hands if you don't have props. And you can either begin to lift and lower the foot, or you can just lift and lower the heel. Next time you pick it up, straighten the leg, let the heel hover. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, folding forward. Rise up a little bit. See if you can pick that heel up, bend the knee, keep the foot off the mat. Release it down. Pick up the back knee, back heel in and down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. And then plant your hands down, step back into a downward dog. And then bring your knees down to the mat. So I'm going to show you a few fun variations of Bakasana. Now, if you have a hard time weight bearing on your wrists, you can come back into the boat pose variations of the Navasana Bakasana. With the big toes touching, bring the knees apart, bring the elbows to the inside, flex the hands back, squeeze the elbows into the arms. Keep pulling the heels down and in towards you, being very active variation of the pose. Now, if you want to play around with balance, so where we have a little fun, my recommendation is having a pillow or blanket or a few of those in front of you just in case. And then if you have a block, I'm just going to show you the pose without it, but I'll show you a couple variations after. So you're going to spread your fingers nice and wide. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Now the idea is for you to bring your knee onto the back side of your arm. So you can lift your hips and place your knees on the back side. Very first variation is just beginning to lean forward and back, just testing the weight on your hands. Testing where your balance point is. It's an exploration. You don't have to come into the full expression of the pose. And then second stage, beginning to lift one foot. And maybe rocking back, coming forward, lifting the other foot, rocking back. And just doing this a couple times. Just again, exploring, finding your tipping point. And yes, the knees can be quite uncomfortable on the back of the arms. That is normal. You can bend the arms too to create a little bit of a shelf for yourself, for your knees. And then third stage, lifting one foot, maybe hovering the second foot. And you can play around with that, just tipping forward, keeping your gaze forward, finding a tipping point, and maybe just barely lifting that other foot off the ground. And then final stage, if you feel safe, and only if you feel safe, lifting both feet off the ground. Now, if that is a really hard shape for you to get into, another variation is to place your feet up on a block. This one feels scary to begin with because you're a little bit higher. Setting yourself up, spreading your fingers, wrists are underneath your shoulders, rolling your elbow pits forward, bending your elbows, placing your knees on the backs of your arms, and just again, maybe tipping forward and back, just finding that balance point. If you don't have a block, you can just continue to play. Continue to explore the pose a little bit. That extra height sometimes just helps a little bit to get yourself off the ground. So you can pause the video here and play around with that for as much as you'd like. I'm going to show one more fun variation. You need a wall, so you can move over to a wall space. And you're just going to slide your hips down the wall so that you can feel your hips up against the wall. Bring your hands out in front of you, shoulder distance apart, spread your fingers, set up your base. Elbow pits roll forward, bend the elbows. Create that shelf for your knees. And then from here, when you lean forward, placing one foot on the wall, you may have to adjust how far away you are. And maybe placing the other toes on the wall. This creates a lot more stability in the pose. So you can play around with that variation as well if you'd like. And if you've had enough of Bakasana, you can come back onto your mat. Take your knees nice and wide. We're just going to come into child's pose. Big toes come close together. Reach your hands up and release your head down. Take a moment here to just reconnect with your breath. Notice the inflow and outflow of your breath. Relax and soften your belly. Relax your shoulders. Relax your head. Walk your hands back a little bit. Bring your knees together this time. Lift your belly up and over your thighs. Reach your hands back. Release your forehead down. Relax your arms. If you need more space, you can place a block underneath your head or a blanket. Softening. Breathing. Slow, full breaths in and out. Allow your hands to find your heels. Take a hold of your heels. On your inhale, lifting your hips up, leaning into your shoulders. Arms are straight. Breathe here. Find space in the back of your shoulders. Deep breath in. Exhale. Release your hips down. Inhale. Press yourself up. And just to finish, you can extend your legs, extend your arms, circle your wrists and your ankles here. Change directions. And then flex your feet and your hands, point all the way down. Next time you flex towards, you're just going to rotate your toes and your fingers wide, rotate them in. You just give everything a little bit of a shake. And from here, you can settle into a Shavasana for a few minutes if you'd like. You can even come into legs up the wall where you spin and bring your legs up the wall to finish, just to have a few moments to allow your nervous system to decompress and completely relax. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed our fun little short Bakasana tutorial. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening or day, depending on when you're watching this. Namaste.